The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning here at 5 a.m. and I have to say congratulations to all the Dodger fans out there.
We begin this morning with developing news. Former President Bill Clinton is in the hospital this morning and is said to be in good spirits and on the mend. President Clinton is suffering from a urinary tract infection that spread to his blood, a condition known as sepsis. The former president has been staying at UC Irvine Medical Center since Tuesday. In a joint statement released yesterday evening, doctors said Clinton was admitted to the hospital for, quote, close monitoring and administered IV antibiotics and fluids. Doctors say he is responding well to the treatment, and they say, quote, hope to have him go home soon. CNN reports he is being treated for a possible blood infection known as sepsis, saying a urinary tract infection may have spread to his bloodstream, while noting he is in the ICU for privacy reasons rather than the state of his condition. Since leaving the White House in 2001, the 42nd president has faced serious health problems, including quadruple bypass surgery in 2004, a partially collapsed lung in 2005, and in 2010, he had 2 stents inserted into one of his coronary arteries. Clinton is expected to remain in the ICU for several days to be monitored before he is released.
Now back here at home to a scare for parents and students at a local school after a student was reported on campus with a gun. 17's Christian Galeno reports.
The school day at Fairfax Junior High took an unusual turn when
my classmate came running into the classroom and she started screaming and we all look at her. And then she's like, there was a kid that pointed a gun at someone and everyone started freaking out. And then that's when the income said that it's a lockout.
At least 2 other area schools were placed on lockdown. Neighboring Miramonte High School went under lockout after reports of an armed robbery at Fairfax Junior High involving one of their students. That student called his mother in a panic.
He was shaking and that he thought he was going to die. And I said, what are you talking about, son? You're at school. And next thing he knows is they lifted up their shirt and had the gun in their pants at him to come out of his Jordans.
Right before 10 a.m., KCSO arrested the student involved and school lockdowns were removed. Fairfax School District Superintendent confirmed the gun was a plastic airsoft handgun with an orange tip, leaving parents angry and demanding change in a school district dogged in recent months by repeated calls from disgruntled parents for certain trustees to step down.
I don't feel safe for my son to be coming to this school. It's the suckiest school district ever.
And students too afraid at a place where they are to feel safe.
I can't. I'm scared. I'm too scared.
For 17 News, I'm Christian Galeno.
Your time now is 5:06, and in your 17 Crime Watch, the man accused of kidnapping and raping as well as murdering a local teen girl has yet to enter a plea to the crime, even though he appeared in court yesterday. Armando Cruz is accused of killing 13-year-old Patricia Alatorre last year, along with other charges. According to court documents, Alatorre met Cruz online and communicated with him before her disappearance and killing. Cruz was eventually arrested in Inglewood. His hearing yesterday was continued until November 4th.
Your time now is 5:06. From our 17 News follow-up file, the Kern County Sheriff's Office says it will not take any further action after reports surfaced of a possible case of animal torture. Images shared on social media a few weeks ago showed what appeared to be 3 juveniles involved in the torture and killing of a kitten. After tracking the photos on social media, interviewing those involved, and investigating, KCSO says no charges will be filed. The sheriff's office said in a statement, while the photos are graphic and disturbing, it was determined the animal died of natural causes prior to the photos being taken. Therefore, no laws were broken.
Assemblyman Vince Fong and law enforcement officials held a news conference yesterday to spread awareness about the dangers of illegal street racing.
It's become a tremendous problem, and over the past 5 or 6 years, the number of incidents have quadrupled. We see tremendous carnage as a result of these types of incidents.
Assemblyman Fong, the Automobile Club of Southern California, CHP, BPD, and activist group Street Racing Kills invited those who've lost loved ones to street racing related crashes to speak about their experiences. They also discussed Assembly Bill 3, a new law designed to crack down on street racing. Last year, CHP responded to more than 25,000 calls involving street racing activity statewide, an increase of more than 3,500 calls from the year before.
Sports news now. The Bakersfield Condors kick off their regular season tomorrow. The Birds from Baco will hit the ice tomorrow at 7 at Mechanics Bank Arena, with another game Sunday at 5 p.m. Single game tickets for the 2021 season are on sale now through AXS.com. Those planning to attend will need to show proof of COVID-19 vaccination or a negative test within the previous 72 hours.
Recapping our top stories on this Friday morning, and former President Bill Clinton is in the hospital this morning and is said to be in good spirits and on the mend. He is suffering from a urinary tract infection that spread to his blood, a condition known as sepsis. Doctors say they, quote, hope to have him go home soon. A student at Fairfax Middle School was arrested yesterday after allegedly pulling an airsoft gun on another student in an attempted robbery. Fairfax and other schools in the area were on lockdown, including Miramonte High School, Shirley Lane Elementary, and Zephyr Elementary. This is the fourth Bakersfield student to be arrested in about 2 weeks. The Dodgers are one step closer to the World Series this morning after knocking off the Giants in a historic showdown in San Francisco. And after a pitcher's duel, the action came in the ninth, with the Dodgers breaking a tie to take the lead. But it was a contentious ending after many say the first base umpire made a bad call on a check swing to end the game. The Dodgers will face the Braves in the NL Championship Series starting tomorrow night.
The debate over vaccine booster shots continues today as an FDA panel considers authorizing another dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Many people who got the Moderna shot are now one step closer to getting a booster as well. NBC's Chris Pallone explains.
Alex, good morning. An FDA panel voted unanimously to recommend booster shots for some of the nearly 70 million people who got the Moderna vaccine.
Puts them at high risk of serious complications.
The FDA advisory panel said people over 65 and others at high risk for severe disease, like those with certain health conditions or people frequently exposed to COVID at their jobs, should get a Moderna booster shot.
To avoid confusion, to remain consistent, recognizing that we need to be humble about the uncertainty that lies ahead, it was the right move. But that is the reason why that half dose was indicated, because those first 2 doses of Moderna were a higher concentration than the first 2 doses of Pfizer.
Citing breakthrough infections and waning immunity over time, Moderna argued the FDA should authorize its booster for people at least 6 months after their second dose. The FDA noted even without a booster, vaccines still afford protection against severe COVID-19 disease and death in the United States. The White House credits vaccine mandates and the Pfizer booster shot for current COVID trends.
Case rates are declining in 39 states, and hospital rates are declining in 38 states.
Today, the FDA panel will consider recommending a booster shot for people who got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and will also review new NIH data showing mixing and matching vaccines from different manufacturers is safe and effective.
The mix and match studies give excellent boosts, certainly with regard to neutralizing antibodies. So let's see what FDA recommends.
This same FDA panel will consider recommending the Pfizer vaccine for use in children as young as 5 later this month. Chris Pallone, NBC News, Washington.
Now to coronavirus in Kern County after we learned another 3 people have died from COVID-19, bringing us yet to another grim milestone with 1,600 deaths caused by this virus. The 3 people who died from the virus actually died last month. Those who died were the reported deaths. We also learned of another 440 people who have been infected with the virus. 219 people are in the hospital this morning with more severe symptoms of the virus. That is the lowest number of hospitalizations in nearly 2 months. 69 people are in the ICU. That just leaves 25 ICU beds available here in Kern County.
A judge has partially blocked an order taking effect this week requiring California prison employees to be vaccinated against COVID-19. A Kern County judge issued a temporary restraining order that prevents enforcement of the vaccination mandate for guards represented by a politically powerful union. The mandate, which takes effect today, will still apply to other workers at prisons that have health care facilities. The mandate is aimed at preventing another coronavirus outbreak like the one that killed 28 inmates and a correctional officer at San Quentin State Prison last year.
Happening today, the Sheriff's Office is honoring one of their own lost to COVID-19. The Kern Law Enforcement Association says Deputy Gabriel Gonzalez died from the virus. A memorial service to honor him is scheduled for today at 2 p.m. at the Canyon Hills Church on Auburn Street. Everyone is invited to attend. You're asked to follow state guidelines for COVID-19 precautions. A private burial service for family and friends only will follow the memorial service.
Crews are making slow progress on the Alisal fire in Santa Barbara County. In 3 days, it's grown to nearly 17,000 acres. It's 11% contained this morning. Officials said during a news conference yesterday that a federal incident command team would assume lead responsibility, which was first reported Monday afternoon in the mountains between the Gaviota Coast and Santa Ynez Valley. Crews were able to reopen Highway 101 yesterday. More than 1,300 firefighters are assigned to the blaze.
Now to the K&P Complex fire as fire activity begins to slow and crews are beginning to get a look at just how the fire has impacted the giant sequoias.
We dodged a bullet. That's how I feel. I feel like because of weather and previous prescribed burning and some really hard work by the crews that worked this fire, we did not see the damage that we would have.
Crews say in the upcoming weeks they will use helicopters and drones to map out the area and find out just how many giant sequoias were lost. The Sequoia National Forest, along with the Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park, remain closed. The K&P Complex fire is 45% contained. You know, that was the big concern, of course, was these trees are historical. I mean, some of these trees are hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years old. And so that was the big concern about this fire, was what was the damage going to be like? And there were some estimates of hundreds of trees, getting destroyed from this fire. So it's good to see that some of those early estimates may be on the lower side. Welcome back. Consider grabbing a fedora and a red and green sweater for tonight's screening of the horror classic A Nightmare on Elm Street at the Fox Theater. Costumes are encouraged, so you can expect to see a few hockey masks, maybe even the ghostly white face of Michael Myers, for a possible reunion of slasher film royalty. Tickets are $7 and can be purchased on the Fox website, or you can call 324-1369. Doors open at 6:30. The movie starts at 7:30. Drink a coffee or soda beforehand. Whatever you do, just don't fall asleep.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.